Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 3 Career Mode. This is a big one today, the championship finale for the Truck Series. We're going to see how Hailie Deegan did in her championship fight, as well as the Cup finale for the four drivers competing for the championship. Obviously, we would have won the tiebreaker to get into the Final Four, but unfortunately Clint Bowyer winning in ISM Raceway kicked us out. So we're not going to be competing for a championship ourselves as a driver in Cup, but we are competing as a team owner as we go into the truck race with Hailie Deegan, who won her way into this round. She would have missed by 1 point. So really, we shouldn't be here, but we are fighting for a championship. She started P8, which is pretty much her average qualifying position throughout this season, and immediately she was not really able to get to that bottom, but the top really can work very well at this racetrack, except when we get on the older, more worn tires. The pace was really falling off for her on that top line, so she had to migrate to the bottom. But on the first lap she fell back to 10th, but by the time we came to the last lap in stage 1, she was using that top and making it work as she was trying to pass Ben Rhodes in the 41 truck as we came down the back straightaway, working her way into the top 5, battling for P4 as Johnny Sauter currently leading the championship 4 as he's coming through turns 3 and 4. He's going to easily win stage 1 as Hailie runs that top line out of turn 4 side by side with the 41 of Ben Rhodes. As they come to the line, she would just barely edge him out to get P4, and then came to the next restart, starting behind Noah Gragson. She was this time now alongside the 8 of John Hunter Nemechek, and obviously Johnny Sauter just drove out and got away from the pack as he had a lot of speed in this race as Hailie lost a few positions down the back straightaway, running that top as it's usually horrible on restarts in this game. But she would get separated from everyone, obviously get down towards the bottom, and eventually towards the end of the stage she worked her way up to P3 behind the 8 of John Hunter Nemechek, who is also in the Final Four. The top 4 drivers going for the championship all right now at this point ran 1, 2, 3, 4. John Hunter, Johnny Sauter, they are both clearly the fastest trucks as Hailie was just a few seconds behind them, closing in now as we came to the restart to start stage 3 as stage 2 ended right there. She got P3. She ended up going back to P4 behind the 21 and 18 along with the 8 of John Hunter again, but this time she immediately was able to drop down in line just in front of the 88 and the 41 of Matt Crafton and Ben Rhodes, but she went back up to the top through turns 3 and 4, and that allowed the 88 to get right to her. But fortunately down the straightaway she was able to carry the momentum, and by the time we came towards the later few laps of this race she got up to P2 behind Johnny Sauter, and she was closing the gap early on. As you can see, she's just a few car lengths behind him at this point, giving it all she had. But unfortunately Johnny Sauter, his pace never fell off, and Hailie's pace just started dropping with the tire wear, and that allowed Noah Gragson to get right on her bumper as she started playing defense mode. But unfortunately, as we come to the last lap in this race, you see the gap. Johnny Sauter long gone now as Hailie's caught a lap truck. She just did not have the pace in the truck in this race that we needed to win, as she decided for the final lap, might as well run the top in the last corners. Johnny Sauter would come through to win the championship as Hailie goes 3 wide with Gragson and the 2 of Cody Coughlin out of turn 4. She would lose 1 more spot to finish P3 in the championship finale and get second in the championship as Johnny Sauter wins the race and the championship. I think he had a 7-win season, so Hailie did not get the championship, unfortunately, but it really isn't too much of a disappointment. She had a solid season, I think 2 or 3 wins. I think it was 3. And next season she's going to be making the jump up to Xfinity with my team, also moving up a series. So we'll show off the paint scheme at the end of the episode. But now it's time to shift our focus towards the Cup season finale. Very excited for that. It's going to be between Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Clint Bowyer, and Martin Truex Jr. Kyle Busch and Clint Bowyer both winning their way into this round. It really should be me and Joey Logano in this round, but unfortunately we just could not do what it took to get to victory lane and have a chance to win a championship. And there's the truck standings, obviously, and there's your 4 drivers going for a championship here in Homestead, Miami. Kevin Harvick, to me, the clear favorite. Maybe Kyle Busch, the second or third favorite behind maybe Truex, and Bowyer, he's really the underdog coming into this. But before we get this race underway, we're going to send it over to my friend Jay, who's been doing the intros all season, for a quick little recap and a montage as we get ready to go into Homestead.
Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Clint Bowyer. 4 drivers, 1 championship. Today, the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series heads into Homestead Miami Speedway to crown a champion. Kevin Harvick comes into the season finale as the clear favorite with a season-high 7 wins and looks to make it 8 as he tries to earn his second Cup Series championship after earning his first in 2014. Kyle Busch comes in with 2 wins, both coming in the playoffs, as he also competes for his second championship. Busch would have missed the round of 4 if he didn't win in Texas. Clint Bowyer also comes into the Final Four with 2 wins, and also would have missed the final round without the win in Phoenix. Bowyer looks to win his first Cup Series championship after coming up short in 2007 and again in 2012. Martin Truex Jr., the 4th contender, looks to earn his second championship after winning his first title in 2017. In other news, Jamie McMurray has announced that Homestead Miami Speedway will be his final Cup Series race. Gary Owen will be moving from the 42 to take over McMurray's position in the 1 car, as Kyle Larson returns to the 42 next season. Owen signed a 1-year deal with Ganassi as he stated that he plans on going elsewhere after next season.
Now let's go decide a champion in Homestead. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Now it's time to cut to our qualifying attempt. We made it to the 3rd session now in Homestead, so certainly a solid effort coming into this event. Obviously nothing really matters for myself at this point. We're just here to decide a champion. But as we come out of turn 4, coming down the front straightaway to cross the line, we would set a 30.828, and immediately I called it there. I thought that was pretty good, and we will qualify P7. So a very solid starting position as we get ready to decide a champion.
And welcome to Homestead Miami Speedway for the running of the Ford EcoBoost 400. Tonight, NASCAR will crown the next Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series champion. Over 40 drivers started the season with high hopes and big dreams. But after a grueling regular season and a roller coaster ride through the playoffs, only 4 of them can still cling to that dream. For the Championship 4, it all comes down to one race. 400 miles from glory. 400 miles from a date with destiny. The wait is finally over. NASCAR's championship race is coming up next.
Alright, we are ready to get going in Homestead. Kyle Busch starts on the pole. Kevin Harvick on the outside front row. Jimmy Johnson sent to the back after failing optical scanning station multiple times. Now as we get ready to go green, Busch and Harvick lead us to the green. Bowyer, another championship contender just on my outside. Martin Truex Jr. starting a ways behind me. The green flag is out and the championship season finale is underway in Homestead, Miami. Right off the bat, we start behind the 12 of Ryan Blaney. Kyle Busch leads us into turns 1 and 2. The AI go way up the track as usual, as they have been doing at this track since NASCAR Heat 3 came out. They really never run the bottom for some reason. Now as you come down the back straightaway for the first time side by side with championship contender Clint Bowyer as we come into turns 3. Like I said, coming in here, Harvick is the likely favorite, but early on looking like Kyle Busch, he might be the guy to beat as we come out of turn 4 to complete lap 1 in this race. Harvick drifting back a little bit of a ways now as we look to his inside as we go into turns 1. Now looking to the inside of Harvick and Blaney as we come through the center of the corner, clearing the 12 of Blaney, moving up from P7 to P3 within a lap and a half of this race. Now as Kyle Busch continues to lead with Denny Hamlin, his teammate, right behind him, and now as we decide it's finally about time that I can move up towards the top of the track, up towards the wall, not too close. We don't want to knock the wall down, which we will likely do multiple times in this race. Now as we cross the line, complete lap 2 on to lap 3 behind the 11 and 18 as they continue to run 1 and 2 now as we get really close to the wall through the center of the corner, but keep it off thankfully as Blaney in the 12 is right on my back bumper. And obviously we don't want to mess with the championship picture too much in this race. so I'm going to try my best not to interfere too much. Now as we come to the later stages of lap 4, Clint Boyer was able to get alongside me and get past me. Now as he sets P2 in the championship order. Now as Kyle Busch continues to lead as we cross the line to start lap 5 as Harvick, he has drifted backwards, and Martin Truex Jr., he's still quite a ways behind, so certainly not a good start for the Ford in the 78, but they got plenty of time to make their way towards the front of the field, as obviously we're only in stage 1, 5 laps into this race. Now as we come to about the halfway point in stage 1, still running P4 behind Clint Boyer, Hamlin, and Kyle Busch, but only this time Kyle Busch has started to put a little bit of a gap between himself and second place Hamlin, as Clint Boyer now runs down the 11. And I said Clint Boyer was the underdog coming into this race, but he's certainly showing that maybe he has some power coming in here, and he might be able to pull something off as he looks to the inside of Denny Hamlin. As Hamlin backs out of the throttle, Boyer moves up to P2, trying to run down first place. Kyle Busch down the back straightaway as we approach the back bumper of Denny Hamlin now. We weren't really able to get by him right away in this run. Now as we just kind of stayed behind him and just ran in our position. Now as we sit still, P4 quite a ways ahead of P5 as they are all the way there, or at least 2 seconds behind at this point. As we come to 3 to go though in stage 1, you see Kyle Busch, he lost the lead to Clint Boyer. Now as Hamlin, he moved up, he's trying to take the lead from Clint Boyer, maybe to help his teammate Kyle Busch, as Boyer currently leads the championship. Now as we come out of turn 4, coming to the white flag in stage 1, Boyer finally gets cleared by the 11 of Hamlin, and we're about to join the party as Kyle Busch is going to send it into turns 1 side by side with Clint Boyer. These two sit 1-2 in the championship now, as we have a pretty solid run through turns 1 and 2 on the exit of the corner, down the back straightaway, right behind this championship battle. Not much of a big battle right now, obviously, since we have plenty of time to go. Now as we come towards the end of stage 1, running that top line right behind the 14 of Clint Boyer, a pretty solid run out of the corner. Kyle Busch looking to clear the 14 as we come out of the corner down the front straightaway. Denny Hamlin wins stage 1, and we will get P4 as Kyle Busch currently leads the championship battle. And Martin Truex Jr. has moved his way into the top 10 now, sits P6. Kevin Harvick, your worst Final Four driver right now, sitting P7, so really not too bad for him. Now as we get ready to start stage 2, he would come in, take 2 cans of fuel, as well as take 4 tires, as we are going to be pretty even on tires with these guys. Now as we get ready to take the green flag is out. Stage 2 is underway. We're going to get right on that back bumper of Kyle Busch, give him a little bit of a shove, try to push him ahead so I myself can also get ahead of these guys, but immediately he's not going to be able to pull anything off. Now as we're stuck on the top, Keselowski and the 2 very close to my left door. Now as we are going to lose some time as we get loose on the exit of turn 2, almost getting into the side of Kevin Harvick, a championship contender now down the back straightaway. Going into turn 3, Harvick looks to the inside of Keselowski as we come through turns 3 and 4. Logano now looking to my inside as my teammate Jamie McMurray, my mirror starts to close in, obviously in his last race, as we will be taking over his car next season as Kyle Busch comes into, or sorry, not Kyle Busch, but Kyle Larson comes into the 42 once again next season, as we make a big move to the inside of the track, 3 wide with Boyer and Busch. Now as Busch backs out of the situation, as we are side by side with him out of turn 2, down the back straightaway. Hamlin leads this race as Boyer currently leads the championship battle, as it's Boyer, Busch, Harvick, and Truex now as they try to fight it out. Now as our teammate McMurray closes up on my back bumper as we lose a lot of speed down the front straightaway. Certainly not something too worrying now as we go into turns 1, still in the top 5 position, as once again we send it into turns 1, trying to gain some time. Now as our teammate McMurray is going to look to my inside, 3 wide as we get very out of control, making a lot of contact with McMurray, but we hang on to the car. Certainly very close to being crashed into the inside wall, or even maybe back up into the field, which would have been terrible because there was playoff drivers around us. Now as we come out of turn 4, though, still in the top 10 position, so it wasn't the end of the world, thankfully. But as we come to lap 10 now in stage 2, sitting P9 still, Jimmy Johnson right on my back bumper, and I really couldn't do much, as after we had that little situation of getting very loose, the car just continued to start slipping and sliding throughout the rest of the stage. Now it's 48 of Jimmy Johnson looks to my inside for a brief moment. He is not able to get down to the inside door of me, but now as we come out of turn 2, he will be able to look to my inside down the back straightaway, and I really didn't want to put too much of a fight up to him. As he comes into turn 3, he's just going to blow right on by me in that Lowe's paint scheme, and this will not be the last time we see it for ourselves, because we will be running one more season on the 2018 cars before we shift over to the 2019 DLC, since the DLC doesn't come out for almost another month as Johnson gets clear. So we fell back to P10 as Chase Elliott now, he starts closing on my back bumper. I had a very bad entrance to turn 1, and that allows Elliott to come out of turn 2 side by side with me down the back straight away. He's certainly had some battles with me throughout this season, and he's usually come out on top of these battles, as now he gets clear of me going into turn 3 right on his back bumper as we do a bit of a crossover move to the inside of him coming out of turn 4, a little bit loose once again, but as we come across the line, he's trying to hang on to P10 with 5 laps to go in stage 2. We send it in pretty deep, trying to get clear of him, 100% ambitious move, but my gosh, it did not work as Elliott, he gets clear as we pushed up into him and just could not make it work. Now it's come to lap 15 in stage 2, behind Elliott, still sitting P11 right behind him, trying to get P10 if we can before the end of this stage, but it's not going to happen because we get a caution that ends stage 2 early, and now the playoff picture we're about to find out. I believe it's Kyle Busch or Clint Bowyer. It is Clint Bowyer still leading this championship battle as we look to the final stage in Homestead, Miami. It is time to get going, and it's going to be, I think, probably about 29, 28 laps to decide a champion now as we get ready to go to the green flag. It is back out. We are underway for possibly the final time this season. It is 28 laps to decide who is going to win the championship between Clint Bowyer, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, and Martin Truex Jr. Immediately, I dive once again to that inside, getting right close to the apron and coming up in front of the 48 and Jimmy Johnson, but once again we make contact with the 4 and get sideways on the exit of turn 2, losing some ground. Thankfully we hang on to it once again just like we did earlier, only dropping to P13 as we get right on that bottom line once again, passing the 3 of Austin Dillon, coming alongside the 48 of Jimmy Johnson as we come out of turn 4 side by side with him, trying to take P11 from the 48 as we cross the line. 27 laps remain in this race, and we drop once again back to the bottom of the track, and now as we start to drift up, we do take P10 for a brief moment as Kyle Busch battles alongside Denny Hamlin side by side. Kyle Busch now leads the championship fight in this race as he fights for his second championship after winning his first in 2015 after missing a good quarter of the season after breaking his legs in the Xfinity race in Daytona after a really bad crash as we come across the line, edging out Kurt Busch for P9, now sitting behind Chase Elliott in the 9 car for P8 as we dive to the inside trying to get ahead of him. They go 3 wide for the lead now up ahead. Keselowski, Kyle Busch, and Hamlin battle it out for the lead. Now it's Clint Bowyer, Harvick, and Truex. They move forwards. The worst championship driver right now is Truex in P6, so they're all really clumped together, and this is what you want to see in a championship battle, is all the 4 drivers all together as we look to the inside of our teammate Jamie McMurray on the exit of turn 4 side by side with him down the front straightaway. He was cross the line to take P7 as we have a big run on the cars ahead, and I decide, you know, we're going to go to the top line trying to make it work, but really just kind of all congested right here. I couldn't really do anything on the top. And now as we come out of turn 2, a solid run once again down the back straightaway, getting into the back of the 78. Now looking to his inside, the 18 of Kyle Busch, trying to get ahead of the 2 of Keselowski so he can go take command of this race, which will give him a big advantage in deciding this championship. Now as we come out of turn 4, 3 wide with Harvick and Hamlin, and I said I didn't want to interfere too much with the championship battle, but we had so much speed, I was just trying to get ahead of these guys as Kyle Busch still side by side with the 2 of Keselowski's. We send it deep into turns 1, pulling ahead of the 4 and the 11 behind the 14 of Clint Bowyer. Now as Kyle Busch is clear for the lead, but Keselowski's going to have a run back down the straightaway, and he would get to the right-hand side of the 18 as we come to lap 45, right in this battle for the lead now. And this really is a position I don't want to be in. We're right in the middle of the championship battle, and I should not be here now as the 18 and the 2 make a little bit of contact now as we're side by side with the 4 of Harvick down the front straightaway, just maintaining that top line, making sure I don't do anything stupid and hit the 4 and maybe take him out now as we come into turns 1 and 2. The 14 making a very ambitious move to the inside of the 18. He went for it. He was not successful there as he made contact with the left rear of him now as we get passed by the 4 of Harvick as the 78 of Truex comes alongside. Keselowski and myself were just right in the middle of this battle, and now Keselowski, he starts drifting back as the 48 dives to my inside as we will battle alongside the 48 of Jimmy Johnson with our teammate Jamie McMurray coming up in my mirror as he sits P8 as we cross the line. 21 laps remain in the season as Kyle Busch finally clear for the lead, but now Clint Boyer looking to his inside now as we come out of turn 2. Boyer trying to take the lead in this championship battle as we come down the back straightaway. Would come to lap 50, now sitting P4 as Keselowski drifted back, and so did Kevin Harvick. And now as we get into the wall just a little bit out of turn 4, but no harm done to the car. Now as Chase Elliott sits P5 right behind me as Kevin Harvick, like I said, drifted back as Clint Boyer currently leads the championship battle, I think. Or is that Truex leading? It is Truex leading, so he leads the championship battle as Kyle Busch. This is the furthest back he has been all race. So later in this race, it's not turning out very well for him. But as we come to lap 53, we kind of all got clumped together again, and that allowed Brad Keselowski to work his way into the picture as me and Jimmy Johnson battle side by side through turns 1 and 2. About 15 laps to go in this championship race as Clint Boyer, he fell back quite a ways as we come to lap 57, still pretty much in the same situation, but Clint Boyer, he is drifted backwards as we get very sideways on the exit of turn 2. And that will allow our teammate Jamie McMurray in his final race to come alongside me. Now as we go into turn 3, Kyle Busch leads the championship battle. Truex falls back to 3rd. Clint Boyer now sits behind me. Like I said, he drifted backwards. Kevin Harvick, the favorite coming into here, is now way behind, and he's looking to be the worst driver in this final 4 as we come to lap 58, diving to the inside of the 48 and the 1. Jimmy Johnson and Jamie McMurray as McMurray gets cleared by myself and Johnson gets cleared by myself as I kind of chopped the nose on the 48, but we were able to get ahead of him up to P4. We really want to get up close to this top 3 battle because now Truex and Kyle Busch side by side for the championship right now as we are coming to 9 laps to go, and Truex would take the position over Kyle Busch, but he would fall back to 2nd behind Keselowski as Keselowski's in command at this point. As we approach the back bumper of the 18 of Kyle Busch, he is about 5 to 6 car lengths behind Truex, trying to win a championship as Truex tries to win his 2nd championship after winning in 2017, as now we get closer and closer to the back bumper of Kyle Busch. And I don't like Kyle Busch or Martin Truex Jr., but I would rather push Kyle Busch to a championship. So really my mentality was kind of like how Kyle Larson treated the 2017 championship battle between the 40, or not the 48, but the 18 and the 78, where Larson also tried to give Kyle Busch a bit of a shove down the straightaway. So if we get that opportunity to get on the bumper of the 18, I was going to try to shove him forwards, but unfortunately I just could not make that work as I couldn't get to his back bumper. Now as Truex looks to the inside of Keselowski as we approach the back bumper of Kyle Busch now down the straightaway, this is our chance to maybe help him out a little bit, but we're coming to the white flag in this race. It's pretty much a lost cause at this point as we come into turn 3. Kyle Busch desperately trying to get up to the back of Truex to win the championship, but it's not looking like it's going to happen as we come out of turn 4. The white flag is in the air now as we come across the line.
All right, let's go.
Martin Truex Jr., your 2017 champion, looking to make it 2 now as we get close to the wall and hit it finally. That's one of the first times I've actually hit the wall in this race. Now as we come out of turn 2, down the back straightaway, Kyle Busch looking like he's going to come up short now as we come down the back straightaway into turn 3. Martin Truex Jr. has 2 wins this season. Now as he comes out of turn 4, 1 Cup championship to his name, and he's going to make it 2 today as Martin Truex Jr. wins the Monster Energy Cup Series championship as we come across the line to finish in 4th as Kyle Busch comes up just a few car lengths short as Clint Boyer would get 3rd and Harvick was going to get 4th as now Truex comes to the line after the race to do his celebratory burnouts as he earned it in this race. Really, he wasn't really up front in this race for the first 3 quarters. In the last quarter of the race, he was able to get towards the front and take command of this championship battle as Kyle Busch. He's got to be disappointed. He was the one who led most of this race. Boyer was up front at times, and Kevin Harvick, really the favorite coming in here, was one driver that never really showed what he could do as he barely got a top 10 finish. I think he finished P9, so very unfortunate for Kevin Harvick as he really deserved the championship, but that's the way the playoffs work in any sport. You can be the best driver or best team and still lose in the championship as Harvick got 7 wins this season, and there's the top 10 standings. Jimmy Johnson with the least amount of wins in the top 10 with 1, and I believe that was at Bristol. But we had a great season for ourselves. A rookie season, P5 in the points, 2 wins. Couldn't ask for much better than that, and I'm very fortunate that we were able to run that good.
Congratulations. That was a great rookie season.
As you hear it from Ricky Stenhouse Jr., a great rookie season.
Hey, you had a fantastic rookie season. I'm excited to see what you can do next
I'm
year.
sure you are when I'm going to be beating you every race. And there we go. Kevin Harvick, he's not very happy. I mean, he just lost the championship after dominating. Of course, he's not going to be happy, but we provoke him anyways. Kyle Busch, he says we should be suspended. We're going to apologize to him. Jimmy Johnson, we're going to apologize to him as well. We don't want rivals going straight in to next season. Reed Sorensen, he's happy, so that's good. And DJ Kennington, a fellow Canadian, is also very happy with us. But a great season overall, and I'm very happy with how it went. And I would like to hear your guys' thoughts on this season. I enjoyed it a lot, and now we go into next season. Obviously, you guys know where I'm going in the Cup Series, as Jamie McMurray will be retiring, and we're going to be taking over his ride. And we only signed a 1-year deal to this one car. So after this next season, when we go to the 2019 DLC, we're going to be driving, obviously, for a different team. And I have an idea already of where I'm going to be going, but I can't really tell you guys just yet until we get to really the last half of our next season. Now, as Kyle Larson comes back from the World of Outlaws after competing full-time, and he will be driving the 42 once again, so we will be battling him as our teammate throughout this next season. And now going into the Xfinity Series, we're going to be starting our own team. We're taking a little bit of a break from the Truck Series, but now move to Xfinity along with Hailie Deegan, as she makes a step up as well from the Truck Series after coming up just short in the championship, just like Kyle Busch did today in the Cup race as well. And obviously we are going to drive a Chevrolet with a little bit of help and funding from Chip Ganassi Racing, and this is the paint scheme that Hailie Deegan will be driving around the track this season in the Xfinity Series, at least to start the season, because we might get some better sponsor offers. So we'll see how that goes throughout the season. Hopefully we can compete. We probably won't be very fast in Daytona, but I'm going to upgrade this car very quickly. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Those would all be very appreciated. And I will see you guys in the next episode as we start our next season. Thank you for watching, everyone, and have a great day.